welcome to Ever After, Once Upon a Time podcast, Season 3, Episode 14, The Tower. In this episode, Zelena plots to steal something precious from David. While in fairy tale land, Charming meets Rapunzel and helps her overcome her deepest fear.
Rapunzel!
Rapunzel!
I didn't know Rapunzel was going to be in this series.
I didn't, because I looked it up.
Yeah, because you cheated. Yes. But that was awesome. I wasn't expecting a Rapunzel
I'm your
story.
host, Molly Southgate, and with me is...
Martha Southgate.
And...
Rob Southgate.
We started the episode before we even
Okay, that's
because
because I'm so excited about Rapunzel.
Me too!
She was beautiful.
Oh, yeah. She didn't have blonde hair, she had brown.
Right.
Dark.
That's what's nice about these stories is that they can be...
They can be anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
You can
Well, because
fit
we know that
anybody in.
like one version of it, but this is a different version of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Captain Hook in the stories. He's always got the, giant nose and the big hair and all that. And it's not like that on here at all. But it's definitely Captain Hook.
And this, he calls himself good looking.
Right.
He is, but I wish he'd wear an undershirt.
Yeah, he is.
An undershirt, like...
He's
like,
a little hairy.
Do you want one of those with the V-neck?
He's a pirate.
No.
Is that what you're looking for?
He's a pirate. He does wear that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like me, I'm wearing my undershirt.
That's right.
Wow,
You're a pirate.
That's a little...
It's a little what?
Than we needed right now.
I think we have that information because we're in the room with you.
Oh,
Well, nobody else is.
Oh, no.
Little do you know.
Little do you know.
So let's get through this episode. There was a lot of stuff, although it was really
This
very
was a
much.
David episode.
I was going to say it was very much focused on David.
So let's talk David out. How about the beginning when he was in the nursery?
Oh, that was creepy.
Yeah, he was in
Because at
Emma's
first
nursery.
it was like nice. He's like, this can't be in. He was dancing with Emma. That was fine. Nice. That was pretty. But then all of a sudden, she's like, and he's like, why are you here? And she's like, I'm not here. You failed me. And then all of a sudden it went all dark. It was creepy when the creepy doll's head was
Turning around. Yeah, and she kept saying, don't fail the next one. Did you like her dress?
Oh, I loved it. She looked like Cinderella.
Yeah, she did. In fact, I thought that's what they were going to do is like, oh, it's Cinderella for some reason.
Mm-mm. I just thought...
She looked like Cinderella.
I didn't know it was a nightmare until towards the end of the scene. I thought it was the witch just taking on her
Right, that instead of
faith,
it being Emma,
that
it
she
was
did
the witch.
that just to...
it could have been that.
But
Well,
it wasn't.
I was confused because I thought they're not in the castle yet. Why?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are.
Are they?
They got in the castle in the last
They
episode.
took her
Well,
out.
Regina got in there with the sleeping
No,
stuff,
they're
but
all
so they're in the
Because
castle.
she removed the shield.
Oh, so they're in the castle. Okay, I got a little confused there, and I thought, why are they in the castle? No, I know.
So Emma was there getting all dressed up. She was all dressed up and getting ready for the ball. And she said, I need to practice dancing or something. So
Right.
they started dancing
I
together.
haven't even been to a ball, and then
She went in there, and
dancing.
they went, everybody dance now!
And then everything went out of control. And as she was getting sucked back into the armoire, that's when she was yelling, don't fail the next one. How horrifying as a parent.
Right.
Because that is our biggest fear, that we will do something.
Well, not really mine, because I've already failed. But...
Well, we fail every day. But,
Yep,
but at
fail!
the same time, it's... So he wakes up and he's with Snow, and that's when she tells him she's pregnant. Because he didn't notice?
Right?
Yeah.
How dare you?
And besides, he had that dream, don't fill the next one. Really?
But she was...
She's looking pretty
I mean, was
pregnant.
he thinking, she just
Well,
had
that's-
gluten intolerance?
That's their problem
Yes,
they've
she
had
was.
in the at the end or during this last few episodes. She's clearly been pregnant,
And
and
he's been not seen it.
they're not saying anything when they're in the Enchanted Forest. But clearly, she's pregnant. They get away with it in Storybrooke because they're like, "Wow, suddenly she's 9 months pregnant."
Right.
But
here,
clearly pregnant.
yeah, it's pretty funny. So,
Well, then they had her tell. That was the funniest thing when she told David. I thought that was just hilarious.
when Snow told David she was
She's
pregnant.
like, did you know that I'm pregnant?
Yeah.
I was like,
Like, who doesn't?
Oh, yeah. She's pregnant.
And she said, "How are you feeling about it?" And he said, "Oh, I'm thrilled."
Yeah.
And then they show its face, and you see him going, "Oh no!"
Yeah. But that's his big fear. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we felt when we found out we were pregnant. It's very scary.
I was really afraid that you were going to fail, and,
Um,
and that I was awesome.
It is scary. So Hook, David, and
it's
Emma.
scarier now.
Yeah, it is.
The real kid.
Yes.
Hook, David, and Emma are searching Regina's office, and David found a holly berry, and he said that's grown in the northwest woods.
Wasn't she Catwoman? Oh,
Halle Berry.
Holly Berry.
And
Awesome Catwoman joke. This one goes out to Jack.
Yeah.
It's an awesome Catwoman joke.
So they were going to go search the northwest woods.
That was funny because she's the Witch of the North.
Yes.
But she's not the Witch of the Northwest.
No, she's the Wick of the West.
The Wick of the West?
I don't know.
The Will of the Wisp? What is happening?
I don't know. Somebody quick, call a doctor.
Okay. Everybody.
I'm having migraines.
Migraines? You get that when you play Minecraft.
Did you just call it a mind grain?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
David gets a call from Snow White to come and meet the midwife.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the midwife is
the
Grumpy.
which we already knew. It's
Zelina.
Zelina. So,
is it Zelina or Selena?
Z.
Is it U
Z.
or A?
Z-E-L-E.
Zelina.
Zelina.
I thought it was Zelina, and I wrote Zalina.
Zelina.
How about just when the description's on the TV?
Readings for saps.
Oh, Dad. I'm a reader.
Yeah.
Mom's a reader.
So am I.
So David goes in to meet with Snow White and Zelina, and Zelina makes some tea, and she put nightroot in it.
Yes. And nightroot, that was the
Which
stuff
is the glittery stuff that makes them forget their fears.
Right, the stuff that we saw him cut that root, and it was all that glittery stuff inside.
So David's in the woods, because now he's done with...
If a David falls in the woods, does anybody hear it?
So David's in the woods, and he's trying to meet up with Emma and Hook and...
those guys.
Right.
And the guys. Just
the guys. So that, because they were searching the woods, and he had to go home, and now he's back, and the witch is tracking him.
Yes.
And that cloaked figure is so frightening.
Witch is so scary. And the
I
way it
haven't
moves.
seen her real face.
Right.
No.
And the way it moves all, quick, it reminded me of, The Ring.
Okay.
Yeah.
It moves quick, then goes back, then...
Yep.
How does it ever get anywhere? Because it moves quick, then goes back, then
How does it get anywhere? How do you get anywhere?
How do you get anywhere?
So David is being tracked, and he sees the creature, and he has the two things he has with him, a sword and
a cell phone.
Yes.
Which is so funny.
It was so funny when he's holding the
The
cell phone
dichotomy
by the sword. Yeah.
Dad, you've got to write a book about the sword and the cell phone.
Okay, I'll get right on that.
Instead of the sword and the stone, the sword
Yeah, I'll
and the
get
cell
right
phone.
on it.
Okay.
So David was knocked out by this creature, and then he comes to, and they start fighting. They start sword fighting, and it's him.
Yes, when
He's
it pulls the
looking
cloak.
at himself.
Yeah, it's himself, and he says, "I'm you."
I thought it was his brother.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was Batman. I'm Batman.
He didn't say it like that. He just said, "I'm you" in his voice.
So David was losing the fight with this creature.
Yeah.
Until he admits his fear that he's afraid of failing her.
Now, he didn't know that was the way to defeat it.
And then stabs him.
Right. He didn't know that was the way to defeat it, but it happened.
Yeah.
Because he did admit it. And when he saw Emma and the Volkswagen, he went, I am afraid.
But what was interesting here is he didn't just admit his fear. He took control of it. So he said, I am afraid of this. And he said, but I'm not going to let it stop me.
Right.
And he stabbed himself with a broken sword right under the armpit.
Not him.
The creature.
The creature.
And it disappeared.
I'm not sure it was in... He did more accurately.
Well, the creature...
than the armpit.
Underneath here.
The creature disappeared, and then he went to grab that broken sword hilt, and that disappeared.
It turned into green.
Green
I
smoke.
don't know
We know
why.
who that is. When there's green smoke, who is it?
The Wicked Witch.
Or the Hulk.
or Cora.
Yeah.
So Regina, Emma, and
The
Hook
would
come
be
at that moment.
Yes.
And Regina tells David, that's the witch.
Yes.
You told her your fear? And he says, yeah. And she said, oh no. And where's your sword? And he said, it disappeared. She said, no, it didn't. She's got it along with your courage.
Right.
So it feeds on people's fear. And...
is she going to take somebody's courage, somebody's heart, and somebody's brain?
Oh.
Is that what they're going to do?
Funny, I didn't think of that.
Or is it just going to be courage and it's alluding to that?
No, that creature was not her.
Yes, it is.
Well, no,
yeah.
it wasn't her.
It's her-ish.
It was her creation.
Yeah.
She made that happen. She knew that he would have to fight that thing, and then
Right, because she was with Snow.
his courage would be in that sword. So if he defeated it, if he lost to it, she wins. If he defeats it, she wins because she gets his courage. That's what was
I bet
going
she's
on.
going to take somebody's brain. I bet it's the same way you take a heart. You just reach
I bet she
in
gets
and
Dr. Whale to
take
do it because he's Dr. Frankenstein
No,
and he
she
will
takes
take the
his.
brain.
'Cause she
Oh,
has a
you
brain.
think?
Okay, so I want to talk about something here. Regina they're trying to figure out how to catch this witch.
Yes.
And Regina's worried
Which
about
witch?
Henry because she wants to protect him, and and if they're all off trying to find the witch,
Yeah.
nobody's watching him, and
Right.
he's vulnerable. So she goes to take care of him while Emma and Hook and David go to figure everything else out.
Right.
Yeah.
But Emma doesn't want her to let on that she's anything other than the mayor.
Right.
So she's
she
not
can't,
really
'cause
trusting him.
Henry's not going to know what the heck's going on,
Right.
and all it's going to do is freak him out. They got to play it cool till they solve this problem.
So Henry and Regina are out having a little outing,
Uh-huh.
and she gets him gelato. And
Gelato, are you sure?
Yeah, she
are
said
you
that.
kidding me?
No, it wasn't. It was ice cream because he said that. She said, "How is it?" And he said, "Well, there was this really good gelato place in New York."
I assumed that's because they were eating gelato.
Oh, could be. I thought they were eating ice cream, and he was saying, "Yeah, I like this kind of thing.
Huh.
I liked this." I don't know.
Why would he have said, oh, yeah, I get gelato in there? Like,
Because maybe he didn't have ice cream there. He had gelato, but here they have a nice, Storybrooke Creamery.
I need to watch it again because that doesn't.
I don't know.
mesh with me.
I'm not worried about it. He got moose tracks. That's all I know.
So he tells Regina all about Walsh, except for
Yeah.
the flying monkey part.
Right. Well, he
And,
didn't know the flying monkey
right.
part.
And he says, we were hoping to have more than two. I was always hoping to have more than two place settings at Christmas.
Uh-huh.
And Regina says, I think soon you'll have more family than you'll know what to do with.
Right.
It's like the whole town is. I loved it when she's like, "Well, that's the great part about small towns like this.
It's like everybody's related.
Like everybody is family, just one big family."
Right.
And if Henry really had that memory, that'd be the best joke ever. He would laugh out loud because
Yes.
everybody is his.
It would be best joke ever.
Absolutely.
Because everybody's family.
Yep. Everybody is.
So,
I've got a question.
well,
Yes.
Where is everybody else from the Enchanted Forest?
Well, they're
Well, we're
there.
working
We're
on
just
it.
kind of focused on these guys. They're all kind of finding their lives again.
we see them once. We see certain
Yeah, like-
ones once in a while. We saw Ruby and Granny.
Well, we also saw.
No,
a
I
huge-
don't mean them. I mean, like, where's Rapunzel?
We don't. Well, she stayed
Yes.
with her. She's not part of the curse. She stayed with her family. She
right,
got reunited.
or she might be there. We just haven't seen her yet because we haven't seen
She
Ariel or
looked
anything.
like Tamara.
Yeah, she
A
did.
little
I was
bit.
thinking that
A
too.
little bit.
A little.
But we saw some of them
Whoa,
at
wait.
what?
She looked like Tamara.
It wasn't Tamara. I know it wasn't.
Or today.
Oh, bad joke. But I'm saying
And he
that
didn't
we
say
saw a lot of
Tamara.
them at the town meeting, but there's still people that we're not seeing yet. And there's a
Yes.
lot of them. There's a lot of them that
We've
we're
been
just not
seeing
seeing.
Grumpy a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
He's the
Grumpy
town-
we always see.
You know who we are seeing?
Who?
Emma and Hook in the woods.
Yep.
And I need to talk about it because I love them.
If an
I
Emma's
just-
in the woods, does a Hook see her? Thank you.
I don't get that.
So
I
Emma
really
and
don't
Hook
get
are
that.
searching the woods because David, of course, has had to leave to go meet the midwife,
Yes.
and he's using his hook on the holly berries, and she
Right.
And
says,
she's like, you've got So you take any chance you can to use that thing.
You'll look for any excuse to use that thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And she asks him what he was doing the last year, and he's rather evasive about where he was.
He's still
because he does remember, and she knows, and he said, "Yeah, I'm not going to tell you."
I wonder
that.
when we're going to get his story, because something happened during that year.
Yes.
I think he was trying to get back to Emma the whole time.
Yeah, but he knows what happened,
Right.
and he knows why they're here, but he's not coming forth with any information.
He's not telling, right.
And he asks her about Walsh and whether or not she was really going to marry him.
Yep.
And she was. And then Emma said, "It doesn't matter. My heart was broken and whatever." And he says, "Well, I'm glad." And she said, "You're glad that my heart was broken?" And he said, "Yes, because if it can be broken, it means it still works."
Right.
He loves her so much.
He
and
does.
This is hard for me because I love both him and Bay.
Right.
Yeah, I just want him to get an undershirt.
I need him to have an undershirt. He needs to cover up a little, but I do love.
He's already covered up. It's not
It's
like
all
he's
hair.
exposing anything.
Just
a
hair.
Yep.
Little
Patch of hair.
spot.
A
Yep.
spot. No, it's a big chest.
But
So,
Oh.
but anyway, I love them together, but at
it's
the same
so
time,
hard, yeah.
I love Bay. So I just struggle.
This
with
is a
this
case
little bit.
where usually there's one that you kind of root for the whole time. I can't decide which one.
Mm-mm.
I want these. It's so
you like
hard.
Hook because you like his big hairy chest.
No, I don't.
You like Babe because you like his big hairy beard?
You're growing that.
Yeah, I'm growing a Bay beard.
Yeah.
Yep, and a Bay chest. Or a Hook chest.
A hook chest.
Wow, that's
You already have a hook chest.
okay.
Welcome to the Gorilla Dad podcast.
So Emma and Hook find the house. I think it's Dorothy's house. It has the storm cellar.
Yes.
It
Well,
has the bike. Did you see the
Yes.
bike with the
other
basket?
thing is, when they were
that's
walking from the storm cellar across, every time they showed that, they pulled the camera back, and it looked very sparse, very Kansas-y.
Yeah.
Here's the farmhouse, here's this, and just a lot of open field.
And here's
Very much like where
barbed
Dorothy
wire
would have grown up.
fence.
That's Dorothy's house.
Yeah.
I know
That
it's
is Dorothy's house. It landed in Storybrooke.
Yep, I
Regina
have a
dropped
feeling.
it. Hey, Measle, drop it on Storybrooke.
Drop it on Storybrooke.
And
The one witch is under.
Yep.
She turned to ash like in the book. In the
Yeah.
book, she just
She turns to ash.
disintegrated.
So it's not like in the movie where her feet curl up.
No.
No.
She disintegrated.
Oh, wow.
Because she was so old.
Yeah.
Just when the house fell on her, she just disintegrated and the shoes were left.
Yep. Wow.
So Emma and David and Hook and Regina were all reunited back in the woods after David's tete-a-tete with himself.
Yes.
And they go back, they show him the house because
Right.
they say, "You got to come and see what
And he
we
says,
found."
wow, this looks like Dorothy's house.
They go down into the storm cellar.
Yes.
They're
Well,
like,
when they see the
"This is
storm
wonderful."
cellar, the lock is
Regina-
broken.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Regina's like, there's dark magic here. Can't you sense it?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, no, yeah, you're
Yeah,
the
but
only
she can.
She can, because she who dealt it.
She who smelt it dealt it.
Yeah.
But they
She smelled it, dealt it with it.
but the
Oh,
the
that
block
sounds
is
really
broken.
bad. Uh-huh.
and it wasn't when Emma was just
Right.
there with Hook. So then they go inside and it's empty, but that cage is there.
And the spinning wheel.
The spinning wheel, and then Charming picks up the gold and he says,
No, Emma did it, and she's like, "There's only one person we
David.
know."
yeah, David
It was
did
David.
It was Emma.
It
No.
was
it.
not.
It was David. 2-1, we win. But he says we only know one
We gotta watch
person
this again.
that can
No.
turn
I gotta see
straw
the next one.
into gold.
Exactly.
And we know who that is.
But how did he get out?
Yeah, did he see? Okay,
I
so
thought
right
maybe
away,
she put a spell over it so they just couldn't see him.
see, and then
But no, but
and then
the
I said,
thing
well,
was
he must have
open.
broken out. But you know what? He didn't break out because the block was broken from the outside. Somebody
she
broke
opened it.
it out.
Remember,
Who did?
Selena? She probably just left.
No,
it.
why would she break the lock?
No, she opened
Somebody
the lock.
broke him out of there.
Dad, Selena opened the lock. She went in with him. She shaved him.
Well,
and
yeah,
stuff.
she did that, but she wouldn't have broken the lock. She was trying to keep him captive in there. Somebody else broke him out. I wonder.
Neo.
Hey.
Yeah, or I was thinking it was a flying monkey, but if they
Why would
are
a flying monkey do that?
well, if they are turning, because it was kind of scratched up and everything the way it was broken, it wasn't broken like somebody would just pop it open. So what I'm thinking is, if Bay has been turned into a flying monkey, maybe there's enough Bay inside of there that he knew to save his dad.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
that
he'd know
could be
where she was keeping
what
him.
it is. Yes.
Okay, so now this is quite an episode.
Yeah,
and there's
a lot
so many
happened.
tangents. Okay, so
She shaves him.
I want to talk about Rumpelstiltskin.
Yes.
So they show him he's sitting in his cage and he's spinning.
Yeah, and he's going a little
and
nutty.
he says, "Cleans the mind, soothes the soul."
Yeah.
And
he's like, takes the madness, takes the madness.
no, that's after. But the first thing he said was cleans the mind, soothes the soul. And the witch has his dagger, and he says he wants her to kill him.
Right.
And he says, all the voices in my head will be quiet when I'm dead.
Yes.
He's
And
making up those rhymes. That's no good.
he's
Yeah.
trying. And he says he's
I don't
trying
like
to
his
spin the
rhymes.
madness away.
Yeah.
And she said,
Maybe the spinning brings the madness.
Right.
yes. And then she shaves, and that's when she shaves him with the dagger, like you were talking about.
And it wasn't about shaving him. And he said that. He goes, she didn't need me. She didn't care about appearances. It wasn't about shaving. What was
She would
it?
have gave me a new shirt.
Yeah,
Yep.
but what was
What
it?
did
What
she
was she
want?
after?
She was after his blood.
And why did she want his
nicked
blood?
him on purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
Why did she want his blood?
To put on her finger so she could get that stuff to make David's self come.
But
Right.
where'd she get it out of?
His vault.
So the witch, Zelena,
Zelena.
goes to Mr. Gold's shop,
Uh-huh.
and Belle is in there, and first she calls her Mrs. Gold,
Right.
Uh-huh.
and she says,
Oh, it's all
no.
full of digs
She
here.
said, "Oh no, I'm not Mrs. Gold. I'm Belle."
Right.
And she says, "Oh well, is Mr. Gold around?" And she says, "No, he died." And she
Right.
says,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, I'm so sorry for
Oh,
your
but she's
loss."
just doing it
She's
to
got him
dig
in
at
a
her.
cage.
But she knows that it hurts her to call her Mr. Gold. She
Yeah,
knows that it hurts her to
Mrs. Gold,
say
yeah.
that he's alive, or that making her
he's
say
dead.
that he's dead. She's just
And
really
she's
taking
got
it
him
out.
in a cage.
She's so
She's
nasty.
heinous. This one's the worst of all. She's even worse than Maleficent.
Cora.
She's equal or worse than Cora.
Yeah, she's nasty.
Worse than Cora.
And so she says she wants to buy a gift for Snow White for Mary Margaret. You might
Right.
know her, Mary Margaret. I
Yeah, and
just
of course
met her
Belle's
in the
like,
diner.
"Oh, yay, she's a nice princess like me. I'm nice to her."
And Belle says, "Oh, I know just the thing." And as soon as she turns around,
Freezy
witch
McFreezy.
freezes
Freezes
her.
her. Why,
Yep.
What is it with that family? They freeze
Wouldn't
people.
you want?
Yeah,
if I
it's
could
that
freeze,
magic.
trust me, if I had that ability, I would be freezing people
Would you
all
be
Oh,
freezing?
I would
Would
freeze
you
both
freeze
of you
me?
right now.
I would be.
Oh,
You
yes.
want to remember us like this forever?
No, I want you
you
guys to
freeze
leave me
me?
alone.
So,
Hardy,
she
hard
goes
daddy.
she goes into Rumpel's
Would
safe
you take us out on our birthdays?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
and that's what she needed the blood for to put
Right,
on
because
her
it had a
finger.
blood curse or whatever on it.
Yeah, so she.
And
Literally,
she needed
blood.
his blood to get in there.
So what did she? We didn't know what she was stealing
Yeah.
No.
at the time, but we found out later. What did she steal?
She's stealing the night root.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is what she ended up using on David.
Yep.
Yes.
David.
And,
the evil thing.
So what else? What did we miss in this episode?
I'm
Anything?
trying to see if there's anything.
Molly, what was your favorite
Rapunzel?
Oh, was that your favorite part too?
Yes!
So actually, Robin Hood is the one who tells David about the night route and that it's available in the haunted forest.
Right, and he says he doesn't usually deal in magic, but once in a while he has to run across it.
So David goes through the haunted forest, finds the route, and hears a woman crying.
Yes.
And he looks up, and there's a tower, and it's Rapunzel, and
That was awesome.
The hair, except it was black.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm
he's
so
climbing up and he gets to the hair and he starts pulling himself up by the hair.
Okay,
And then he goes
that
in.
would hurt.
Well, don't you remember in Tangled, she kind of wrapped it around something so
But
that
it
it
didn't
wouldn't be
pull her
pulling at her.
scalp.
Because up there, it wasn't pulling at her.
Oh,
So she must have
'cause
had it
had
around
so
something.
much hair.
Right.
No, she had so much hair that it wouldn't pull.
Right.
She just put it down as far
She
as...
wouldn't feel, and there are no nerves in our hair or anything that we would ever
Right.
feel
You wouldn't
it.
feel that.
You'd feel it only on your scalp,
If
but
it was
not
tugging.
if it was further down your...
So he climbs up and he gets into the tower.
Really further.
And she says to him that a witch did this to her.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And then she starts talking about how she couldn't lead and her brother died. And she's like, I was afraid I couldn't lead. And now I'll never see him again.
And guess what happened?
What happens?
All of a sudden,
Yeah,
the evil witch. I want to see her face so badly.
yeah.
Well, yeah, but every time it's just reflects back the person's
Yeah,
face.
it's not a
So
real
it
witch.
was-
It's that.
Yeah.
It's their fear is what they're seeing.
So,
And so
their
the
fear
witch-
is themselves?
Yes. They're facing their own fears.
So the witch was
Really, facing their
Yep.
self.
Get it?
Facing.
So the witch climbs up the tower.
Yeah.
And he looks out because he's about to stab it with a sword, and it's gone. And he looks up, and it's over his head.
Yeah.
And it jumps on.
Yeah, and it knocks him into the room.
Scary!
Yeah.
It knocks him down
So
a
then
lot.
when it pulls the hood off,
It
It's-
was.
No, it didn't pull the hood off. It looked at her.
And who was it?
It was Rapunzel.
Yeah.
right.
They
and
didn't
that's
say her name is Rapunzel.
but that's when David figures out who it is.
Uh-huh.
He's like, or what it is. He's like, you're facing your own fear. You have to conquer
Literally
that fear
Facing.
to get out of here. The only thing holding you in this prison is you.
And so I'm yelling at the screen, cut her hair, cut the hair, cut the hair.
Yeah.
She finally does it.
She cuts the hair and the
When it's going down, I think.
yep, and
Or
the
like,
witch
They knocked
falls.
it down, and then
The witch was climbing up towards her, and he was yelling, cut her hair. Because after she jumped on him and dragged him out,
Right.
they started to fall down the
But
thing.
then it started to climb back up
It
the
was
hair.
going up to get her.
And he was stuck like halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
so
she
she
got-
cut it.
cut.
Yes.
And he wasn't holding on to the hair.
Right.
He was holding on to vines.
Yeah.
Right.
How did she get down?
How did who get down?
Rapunzel.
Well,
'Cause
she used the staircase.
Yeah,
They had
there's a staircase in the middle. There's an elevator. Didn't you know that?
It says exit, and all that time she just didn't need, maybe she doesn't know how to read.
It's like in that my one book where she's
Oh, I
like,
love that book.
Why didn't they think to use the staircase?
What is that book called? It's Rapunzel,
Falling for Rapunzel.
Falling for Rapunzel. Great little kids picture book. So cute. And Rapunzel's hard of hearing in it, sort of. And so every time the prince yells,
Send down
your hair, she
Send down your silky locks, and she sends down her socks.
Yeah,
Yep.
and say she sends down the maid.
Yeah.
Oh, send down your braid, and she sends down the maid
And
Right.
guess what? And then he falls in love and goes away, and then
with
she's
the
like-
maid.
with the maid, and she's like, "Oh, none of them thought to use this. Such lovely folks. None of them ever there. Then, but why didn't that prince ever think to use the staircase?"
Exactly.
And there's the door and the staircase, and she's standing at it.
Yeah, so
funny.
funny.
So that's what I imagined, that there was just a staircase there the whole time.
Well, there was a door in the room there, so I imagine
and
that's what
she
it was.
just didn't know how to use it. Or no, I think it was enchanted.
It was
and
enchanted,
she
but now that
I like
she's defeated her fear, she can come out.
I
So
can come out.
Rapunzel and David leave the tower, and he
Her
takes
hair
her
was
home.
holding her back. Get it? Somebody tied her hair to a chair.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
she's
So he takes her home to the castle, and he sees Snow White there.
Yes.
She gets reunited with her parents, and
Right.
Snow White's there, and he tells her all about his fears, and he says, "But it's okay. I'm gonna go through it anyway." But they at that point still remember Storybrooke and everything else, so they say, "We lost her when she was a baby, then we lost her again when we had to leave her behind."
Right. Right.
And so
And Snow's like, this is a different scenario. Don't worry about it. And he does. He feels much better about the whole thing.
Yep.
So we did cover
that
it all,
was
though.
kind of a really
Yeah.
full crazy episode.
All right.
crazy.
But it was fun to see Rapunzel, and I
Yes.
thought it was a really good episode. But it was
Yes.
just hard to talk about because it was so busy.
Well, I'm anxious for the next one. Are you guys?
Yeah.
Very much.
All right, we're moving along in season 3 here. We're almost done. I wonder how this is
We're
going to
more than
wrap up.
halfway now, so this is good.
Yeah. So, okay.
No, we're exactly halfway.
No, we're more than
No,
halfway.
we're more than halfway.
We're more than halfway.
I'm so tired. Okay,
So-
we're more than halfway. We're on 14. What am I thinking?
You can find past episodes of this and all of our other podcasts at our website, which is...
www.southgatemediagroup.com.
You can also find all of our social media there. Please send us emails with questions or theories or just thoughts about the show to our email, which is southgatemediagroup@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We're on Tumblr. We're on Instagram. We're all over the place, if you can't tell that from our show. Just look up Southgate Media Group or Ever After the Once Upon a Time podcast. Yes. And
That's how you spell it, by the way.
find us on iTunes. Find us on Stitcher. Rate us. Review us. It really helps us, and it helps other people find the show. That's it!
Whoa!
Let's end this the way every great fairy tale ends.
Happily ever after.
The end! If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.